Hey guys, Hidden Truths here. Welcome to this new video with a bunch of new stories. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers and I think we can do it with your help. So please subscribe. It would honestly mean a lot to me. Now, let's get right into the stories.
There wasn't any dramatic clue, not at first. Just a few small things that didn't line up, nothing you could pin to the wall, just a feeling. Like the sense you get when a room's been rearranged slightly but no one says anything. You notice without knowing what's changed. Hannah had packed her suitcase the night before, nothing unusual. But it wasn't the old maroon roller we'd had since our honeymoon. She'd bought a new one, sleek and gray, still smelling faintly of plastic and department store air. I hadn't even known she ordered it. It was on sale, she said, shrugging it off. Then came the perfume. Not her usual soft citrus. This one was sharper, floral, the kind of scent that lingered after she left the room. I didn't say anything. Just took the kids to school Friday morning, came home, and found she'd already left for her 3-day marketing conference in Charlotte. No kiss goodbye. Just a text, flight's early. Love you. Talk soon. I didn't think much of it, people get busy. And Hannah had been busier than usual lately. New accounts, more travel. But that evening, as I was putting Logan's shoes in the closet, I noticed her phone lock screen had changed. No more of the kids at the beach. Just a skyline photo, grainy, probably pulled from some hotel window. Still, I let it go. Married 11 years, you learn to ignore a lot of harmless changes. You trust the routine more than you question it. Saturday was warm for October. We had a cul-de-sac cookout, burgers, kids running barefoot, someone's Bluetooth speaker playing 90s alt-rock. The usual crowd showed up. Eric and Jules from across the street, Marcus with his endless dad jokes, and Dana, who made those impossible 7-layer bars everyone pretended not to eat but devoured anyway. I was flipping burgers when Eric wandered over with a beer and a lopsided grin. Hey, he said, lowering his voice. I thought Hannah left yesterday. I paused, spatula in hand. She did. Eric tilted his head. Weird. Jules said she swore she saw her Thursday afternoon near the airport. Parking garage, maybe. I figured she flew out Friday morning. She did, I said again. Why? Eric just shrugged, but there was that look, like he knew more than he wanted to say. The silence between us stretched. She probably got a rental car or something, I added quickly. Maybe had to meet a client early. Eric nodded slowly, sipping his beer. Yeah. Probably. But I'd never mentioned anything about a rental. And Thursday wasn't on the itinerary she showed me. That detail stuck in my ribs the rest of the night. Sunday morning, after the kids woke me up fighting over who finished the cereal, I sat down to clear my inbox and print me a school calendar. Somewhere in the mess of emails, I noticed a folder, our shared accounts travel receipts. It was auto-populated with hotel confirmations and Uber summaries. Stuff we barely checked unless it was tax time. One new entry caught my eye, a stay at the Loftline Hotel downtown. Thursday to Saturday. That wasn't in Charlotte. I clicked through. One room, yes, but the receipt showed 2 breakfasts charged to the room Friday morning. Room service. 2 entrees. 2 drinks. My pulse slowed. I stared at the screen like it might rewrite itself if I blinked enough times. It could have been a meeting. It could have been a friend. But she hadn't told me. There was no note, no calendar block, no forwarded invite like she usually sent when she traveled for work. And Charlotte was nowhere on this itinerary. The page didn't lie. Neither did the time stamps. I sat back in my chair, the hum of the refrigerator louder than it should have been. Logan was humming from the living room, building something elaborate out of Legos. Mia sat at the table drawing a family of foxes in bright orange marker. Everything looked the same. But it wasn't. That night, after the kids were asleep, I opened the photo archive. Hannah had auto backup set up through our shared cloud. She didn't realize that. Neither had I until now. Just a background feature that never mattered, until it did. Scrolling through the most recent uploads, I found 6 new photos from her conference. None were of hotel lobbies or keynote speakers. Just bar tops. Cocktails. One clear shot, her smiling across a rooftop table, city skyline behind her. Not Charlotte. I knew that much. I knew our skyline. And across from her, out of focus but there, was a man's hand reaching for a drink. A silver watch. Thick fingers. A cuff link. Not a client. Not a selfie. Someone she hadn't cropped out. I stared at the screen a long time. Not angry. Not shocked. Just, still. Like something had stopped moving inside me. I didn't close the app. I didn't call her. I didn't break anything or write a long message I'd regret. I just sat there and whispered to myself. Okay. So now I know. I didn't go down the rabbit hole that night. I went to bed. Brushed my teeth. Folded laundry. Read Mia her favorite owl book for the 3rd time this week. I didn't slam drawers or throw things. There's no dignity in rage when the facts are still forming. I lay in bed with the ceiling fan whispering above me, thinking don't guess. Just notice. The next day, after school drop-off, I opened my laptop and started with the basics. Not spying, just quiet checking. There's a difference. The shared calendar didn't list the Charlotte trip. It had 2 client calls blocked out and a fake gym session labeled wellness break. The time block for Friday morning's breakfast keynote was still on there, right when that hotel receipt showed 2 plates of eggs and fresh juice. Next, I checked her gym app. I knew the login. She had me sign her up once when their system glitched. She hadn't checked in all week. Not since last Sunday. I moved on to rideshare history. We sometimes shared rides under the same Uber account when we traveled together. She must have forgotten it was still synced. Thursday afternoon, pickup from home to a hotel, not the airport. Drop-off was marked as Loftline Hotel, 3:12 p.m. So she didn't fly out at all. I closed the laptop and rubbed my eyes. It was all so neat. Quiet. Lined up. That afternoon, I texted Jason. Ben, got a weird one for you. Can you talk? Jason, absolutely. Want me to call? Ben, better not. Just text for now. Jason's been one of my closest friends since college. Solid guy. Level. Married to Tina, 2 kids like us. We've been through each other's job changes, births, house leaks, everything. Ben, think Hannah's seeing someone. Found some receipts. Not jumping to anything, but it's not good. Jason, pause. Jason, Ben. I'm sorry. I really hoped you'd never have to write that. Ben, that sounds like you already knew. Jason. Yeah. Ben, how long? Jason, I don't know. Tina and we saw her at a bar 2 months ago, downtown. She was with a guy. We didn't tell you because, well, we hoped we were wrong. Or that it would stop. Ben, who is he? Jason, no name. Looked like someone from work. Casual, not sneaky, if that makes sense. Like they weren't hiding. I sat there for a long time, phone in hand, thumb hovering. Ben, you should have told me. Jason, I know. You're right. We didn't know what it would set off. And it wasn't our marriage. Didn't feel like our line to cross. Ben, it was. Jason, I'm sorry. That was the end of the thread. I didn't text back for hours. By the time the sun set, I'd made a list. Not dramatic, just bullet points. A plan. It helped me keep the focus where it belonged. The kids come first. No yelling, no scenes. Facts only. No guesses. Number 2 a.m. fights. Wait. Protect the rhythm. They need rhythm. I taped the list under my desk. It didn't feel noble. It felt necessary. That night, I went back to the photo archive. Most were harmless: latte art, blurred sidewalks, a hotel mirror selfie. But one stood out. Saturday evening. A balcony shot. String lights in the background. The same guy's watch, this time clearer, his arm resting beside hers on a marble ledge. Zooming in, I caught the skyline behind them. Not Charlotte. Not anywhere near it. I recognized the rooftop. Hannah and I had eaten there once, years ago. Anniversary dinner. I remembered the chilled rose, the red linen napkins. We'd watched planes disappear into the clouds as we promised we'd do more date nights. I closed the app. I didn't cry. Didn't throw up. I didn't even feel anger. What I felt was subtraction. Like someone had slowly been pulling bricks out from under the foundation for months, and now the porch had tilted. The house was still standing, sure. But one hard rain and it would slant too far to fix. And I wasn't about to wait for the storm. Monday morning, Hannah came home. She walked through the front door at 9:17 a.m., suitcase rolling behind her, hair still curled from the night before. I was making pancakes for the kids. Mia was flipping pages of her school binder, Logan was humming under his breath, covered in syrup. Hannah kissed my cheek like nothing was wrong. Conference was good, she said. Long. But productive. I smiled, nodding. I kissed Logan's sticky head and passed Mia her water bottle. Glad you're back, I said. My voice didn't shake. But inside, I was already packing the truth into neat, separate boxes. I waited until Saturday. That gave us 5 days. 5 days of shared school pickups, quiet dinners, and nighttime routines. I didn't trail her. I didn't ask pointed questions. I watched. I waited. And I practiced the one skill I didn't know I had, patience. Hannah didn't act any different. She kissed the kids, folded towels, posted a picture of Logan in his soccer uniform with the caption, "My whole heart." She even brought me a coffee midweek, like old times, saying, "You looked tired this morning." She wasn't lying. I was. But I still said thank you. When Saturday morning came, I dropped the kids off at my sister's place across town. Mia brought her fox drawings, Logan brought his Beyblades. I packed extra socks, their toothbrushes, and a few of their favorite books. They coming back tonight? Laura asked. Tomorrow, I said. We're just talking today. She paused. Her voice softened. You okay, Ben? I hesitated. Then gave the only honest answer I had. I don't know yet. Back home, I waited until Hannah came back from her morning run. She was flushed, ponytail damp, earbuds still swinging around her neck. I asked her to sit with me at the dining table, just the two of us. No TV, no coffee, no distractions. She looked confused, maybe a little nervous. But she nodded. I sat across from her and slid my phone onto the table between us. Not as a threat. Just as evidence. I kept my voice even. Gentle. Controlled. I found the hotel receipt, I said. She blinked once. What hotel? The Loft Line. Thursday to Saturday. 2 breakfasts. She opened her mouth. Closed it again. I also saw the Uber logs, I continued. And the photos, backed up automatically to our shared cloud. Her hand touched her mouth. For a second, I thought she'd deny it. But she didn't. Instead, she whispered, "I didn't think you'd notice." I nodded once. But I did. We sat there for a long time. She didn't cry. Neither did I. The light through the window stretched long across the table, hitting the mail pile just right so it made a line between us. A clean divide. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said finally. "It started small." "Who is he?" "Someone from work." "It's not," she stopped herself. "It's not worth protecting now." "How long?" "Since May. Almost half a year." I didn't flinch. I just swallowed. "Was it the first time?" "No," she said quietly. "There were other moments before this. But it got serious in May. That offsite in Nashville. That's when it really started. And Charlotte? That wasn't real. We booked the hotel downtown. I just needed space to think. Or maybe I didn't want to think. I don't even know anymore." The silence filled every crack in the room. I didn't shout. Didn't accuse. I just let the facts sit between us like cold coffee. She waited for a reaction. For me to crack, or scream, or storm out. But I stayed still. "I felt like I was disappearing," she said. "Into laundry and calendars and Target runs. Into being someone's mom. Someone's wife." And then he saw me. Not as a label. As a person. I didn't plan for this. But I felt alive again. I let that sink in. Alive again. And I wasn't the one who did that for her. I stood up slowly. My knees felt heavier than they should have. "I'm moving into the guest room," I said. "Tonight. I've already booked a custody consult. Not because I want a war, because I want this to be stable. For the kids." She looked up at me, eyes wide. "Ben. No name-calling. No dragging each other through the mud. You get a lawyer. I'll get one. We'll do it right. Not perfect, but right." Her voice cracked. "Do you hate me?" I shook my head. "I don't even know what I feel right now. But I know what I won't do." "And what's that?" I looked her dead in the eye. "I won't let this wreck me." Later that evening, I moved my clothes to the guest room. Just a few things. A week's worth of socks. T-shirts. A pair of jeans with a frayed pocket. The room still smelled like old paint and carpet cleaner. The lamp flickered unless you turned it just right. The kids would ask questions. I'd figure out answers. For now, I slept in the quiet. No shared bed. No brushing shoulders in the dark. Just stillness. And breath. And the space I needed to remember who I was before everything blurred. News spreads faster than you think. We never made an announcement, never posted cryptic quotes or updated relationship statuses. But people knew. Not through words, through energy. Through the sudden absence of joint arrivals. Through my solo runs to school drop-off. Through the way Hannah and I stood farther apart at birthday parties. By the second week of our new arrangement, the neighborhood was reacting in quiet, human ways. Jules brought over a lasagna. Said it was extra, though we both knew it wasn't. Eric offered to help fix the gutter on my garage, even though I hadn't mentioned it was sagging. Marcus asked if I wanted to go in on a grill smoker he'd been eyeing, therapy through meat, he called it. Then there were others. Dana cornered me during Logan's soccer warm-up, voice low, like we were trading state secrets. I saw her last month, she said. At a wine bar, I think. With a man who wasn't you. I wasn't going to say anything, but, well, anyway, I'm sorry. I thanked her. For what, I wasn't exactly sure. Maybe just for the tone. Some people avoided eye contact altogether. The ones who didn't know what to say, so they chose nothing. That, too, was its own kind of message. My parents took it better than I expected. I told them over Sunday coffee. Just the facts. No dramatics. Dad sat still for a long moment, then said, "Well, I guess we just keep showing up." Mom nodded and reached across the table. "Are you safe? Are the kids okay?" "I'm good," I said. "They're doing fine. We're keeping the schedule predictable. I want them to feel steady, no matter what." They didn't ask for details. They didn't blame her. They didn't rush to fix it. They just stayed. That was enough. Hannah told her parents the following week. I wasn't in the room, but she told me afterward that her mom cried, and her dad said, "You need to grow up now." It wasn't a condemnation. It was just his way of saying, time to own it. The kids were the last to know. We sat them down in the living room, together. No tension, no sighing, no visible grief. Just two parents on the same couch, doing the one thing we agreed mattered most, keeping their world intact, even if ours had cracked underneath. "We're going to live in two houses," I said, "but you'll still have all the same people who love you. Mom and I are still your team. We're just shifting how the house part works." Logan blinked, confused but unfazed. Mia frowned, trying to figure out where this fit in her mental calendar of piano lessons and birthday parties. "Are you getting a divorce?" she asked quietly. Hannah looked at me. I answered. "Yes, sweetheart. But it doesn't mean anyone's leaving you. You'll have bedrooms at both places. Pancakes on Tuesdays. Bedtime stories. That doesn't change." She nodded, eyes shiny but brave. "Okay," she whispered. And just like that, the truth was out. By the end of the month, our co-parenting rhythm began to form. We agreed, school nights would stay with me. I lived closer to the campus, and I kept the routines tight. Hannah got weekends, plus midweek dinners if she wanted. No games, no hostage schedules. Just a Google Calendar we both updated, color-coded to keep peace. She came to Logan's soccer matches. I showed up at Mia's fall concert. We stood a few feet apart, clapped at the same moments, handed off jackets and backpacks with smooth efficiency. It wasn't cold. It wasn't warm either. Just practiced. One Friday evening, a text popped up on my phone. I was sitting in the driveway after dropping the kids off. "Hannah, need to talk when you have a minute. Nothing bad." I waited till I got home to reply. "Me, what's up?" "Hannah, he's texting me again. A lot. Got upset when I said I needed space." "Me, is he threatening?" "Hannah, not exactly. Just pushing. Guilt. Making it sound like I owe him more than I do." I stared at the screen for a while, thumb hovering. Then I typed. "Me, you don't owe him anything. You're allowed to step away. Just document everything. Don't respond in the moment. And if he crosses a line, I'll help." She didn't reply right away. When she did, it was short. "Hannah, thank you." I locked my phone and left it face down on the kitchen table. It wasn't my job to fix her anymore. But I wasn't going to let her fall apart either, not when the kids needed both of us steady. I'd already lost enough sleep learning how to be a man who didn't abandon his center just because someone else did. Now, I was focused on something else entirely. Building a new ordinary from the inside out. Dividing a life is never a clean task. It's a series of small negotiations, this bookshelf, that ladder. One of us gets the crockpot, the other gets the good scissors. You learn quickly that the objects don't matter, not really, it's the stories tied to them. The little emotional barbs. The teacup you bought at the beach that summer you didn't fight. The ugly lamp you both secretly hated but kept anyway. Hannah and I made a list and stuck to it. Passwords. Logins. We sat at the kitchen table with laptops open, trading logins like we were swapping baseball cards. She took the streaming subscriptions and her air fryer. I took the tools, the washer warranty, and the kids' school accounts. We split holidays straight down the middle, alternating years, trading Thanksgiving for spring break. Birthdays, we'd both attend. No court orders made that rule, just decency. The court granted joint custody with clear parameters. School nights remained mine. Hannah got generous weekends and a week each summer. No objections. No badmouthing. No drama. The judge looked up at one point and said, "You two are handling this with more maturity than most." I nodded. I didn't say that we'd already lost enough to know how not to lose more. The garage was the last thing to sort. That was where the real weight sat. Bins of old baby clothes. Hannah's college notebooks. My dad's tools. We tackled it together one Saturday afternoon while the kids were at my sister's. It was the first time we'd spent more than 30 minutes alone in months. We worked mostly in silence, just the occasional keep or toss, tossed over our shoulders like softballs. At one point, she pulled down an old Halloween bin and laughed softly. "Remember when Mia insisted on being a wizard astronaut?" I smiled. Yeah. She wore that strainer helmet for a week. There was a beat of something gentle. Then it passed. By sunset, we were both sweaty and dusty, our hands scratched from old cardboard edges. She tied back her hair. I wiped down the last shelf. And just like that, another shared space was sorted. Divided. Neat. Done. I started a few new rituals with the kids. Small things, but they stuck. Tuesday pancakes, no matter what. Even if we were running late. Even if Logan got syrup in his socks again. Saturday library runs. Mia picks non-fiction now. Logan still prefers anything with dragons. I built a shelf with Logan one rainy Sunday. Nothing fancy, just pine and screws. He held the drill like it was a magic wand. Mia and I started making smoothies together on Thursday mornings. She invents names like Strawberry Volcano or Tangerine Tornado, even when they taste like blended spinach and regret. These things anchored us. Quiet and repeatable. I never said this is our new normal. That phrase felt like defeat. I just showed up. And over time, we settled into something that didn't rattle. One afternoon at soccer practice, Hannah handed me Logan's cleats and a folded handout from the coach. "I forgot to give you this earlier," she said. "Team photos next Saturday." "Got it," I said, taking the papers. We stood beside the fence, watching Logan sprint after a ball he had no chance of catching. Mia sat nearby, drawing space foxes again. I glanced down. Her key, our old house key, still hung from the lanyard in Hannah's hand. "I changed the locks last week," I said gently. Not in a dramatic way. Just felt like it was time. She nodded. "Yeah. Makes sense." I held out my hand. She hesitated, then unclipped the key and placed it in my palm. It felt lighter than I thought it would. No sting. No heat. Just a key I didn't need to carry anymore. We both looked at Logan again. He fell hard, bounced up, and kept going. No tears. No look back. Just forward. When I turned to say something else, Hannah was already walking toward the car, braids swaying against her back. And I stood there in the fading light, the key in my pocket, the kids in clear view, and one thought settling in clean and final. Not all endings are loud, some are just a door that finally closes without sticking.